One can have increased heart rate, increased blood pressure, and so forth. Now, what is the cause of anxiety? Mhm. When you feel stress, so that is the cause. So the cause is, the bottom root cause is the fear. There is a fear that what if this happens, or will I be able to do this? There is a fear, and the fear comes from a lack of knowledge about the future, right? So we do not know the future, so we have this fear, what is going to be there for me, right? Will I be able to handle this properly or not? And so there are thoughts of worry that start. What if this is there? What if that is there? How will I do this? How will this will happen? Things like that. And so there, that is why these thoughts develop. And we're not going to talk about the symptoms that lead to phobias. That's an extreme case. Maybe in those cases we need medical help. But starting before that, when it is the beginning, and how to control the symptoms or how to manage them. So let's talk about managing. Everyone has experienced anxiety. I don't think so there's anybody who has not experienced what worry is. And starting about managing, the first is the identification. What is the identifying what? Recognizing that I am not comfortable, that my thoughts are not comfortable. That is the recognition. And how do I recognize? It has to be recognized right at that moment. That's something uncomfortable. I am not myself. And what will be the sign if I'm not comfortable? What will be visible? In simple terms, I won't be happy. I won't feel happy. I will feel that I was happy and now I am not happy. And why I'm not happy? If I go back and look at my thoughts, so my thoughts would tell me that because of this is there tomorrow, maybe I have a test tomorrow, maybe something to perform tomorrow, maybe this has to be done, I think there is a lot that I have to do, how will I manage, and things like that, the thoughts will accompany. So the earlier recognition. So as soon as I start getting that thought, so recognize, because of this thought, I am feeling uncomfortable. Then what is the next step? Now I have recognized that I am having these thoughts, I'm having negative thoughts. What is the next step? So the next step is talking to somebody about it, being open, not keeping it to ourselves. Now we have to be very careful who we talk to. Why? Because if we talk to somebody who is already in a fear, what they will do? They will increase my anxiety. They will say, oh, this is there. Oh, I know 10 people who did this, and this thing happened to them. Or this thing happened. So what will happen? It will reinforce my anxiety. My anxiety or my worry would increase. So I have to be very careful who do I speak to. It has to be a person who's really non-judgmental and has a very positive attitude. Or the other thing that I could do, which is more reliable and more helpful, is talk to myself. And how do I talk to myself? Is I write in a journal. Do you all know how to write in a journal? Yeah? Okay. We write at night, right? So writing in a journal at that moment, the moment those thoughts come, as soon as they come. So we don't have to carry a diary with ourselves the whole day, because the thoughts could come the entire day. But thanks, we have a cell phone and we can write notes and email or whatever it is. But the key thing is to write those thoughts right then, the moment they come to my mind. And then however they come, whatever the thought might be, it might be for any sort of future thought that probably might not happen. But whatever is coming to my mind, I write it very, very honestly. Write it as honestly as I can, And when I write it honestly, after that, the third step is observing. Just to read those thoughts. Okay, what have I written? And observing with a very non-judgmental perspective. Not be like, oh, I'm always thinking negative. This is what happens with me all the time. This is what happened last time. How will this person do this? How will my family member get? So it's a very non-judgmental view. And for that, I have to see it as a third person. Like I am my friend. And what does a friend do? Yes. Help their friends, yes, unconditionally, right? And a friend understands, right? A friend never judges. So in the same way, I see those thoughts as a friend to myself, and I, with a non-judgmental view in my mind, I see those thoughts. And then what do I write after that? I will write the exact opposite thought, right? Say, suppose if I have a fear, how will this happen? So I write, success is guaranteed. The exact opposite thought. If I see that, I write, oh, will my health be okay? This test is still pending, whatever it is. I write, I am going to be absolutely healthy, 100% healthy. The exact opposite thought. So I write that and I keep on doing it. If the thoughts come again, like a friend, I write, I observe, and I write the opposite thought. And so this is the key. But why do I have to write these things? Why can I can have negative thoughts and still be okay? Why do I have to write the exact opposite thought? Anyone? Why I have to write an exact opposite thought? Yes. You'll have positive thoughts, yes. And positive, so there is a science behind it, right? Science, it's not that just positive thoughts work. There is science behind it. So if anyone has heard about placebo effect, right? Placebo is a drug when it is given during studies. And what happens, it's a dummy drug, meaning there is no medicine in it, but it is given to patients in research, in randomized control trials. On one side, they give medicine, and on the other side, they give that dummy medicine, which has no effect. And still, there was a study with people with migraine headaches, and what they saw is people who received the placebo, 50% of them had no headaches. 50%, that's a very big number. So how did that work? How did that work? Mind, right? This medicine will help me. This medicine will help me. And then it helped, right? And there's another study that they did. This was done in people with osteoarthritis, or in simple terms, arthritis. And they gave medicine to these people, and then same placebo effect. And then they studied the brain, MRI. They did the MRI of the brain and studied their brain. And what they saw, that people who had the placebo effect had actual changes in the frontal part of the brain. So their brain changed, physically their brain changed, right, from having that placebo. So placebo did not do anything. There was nothing in the medicine. It was the belief that that medicine is working. It actually brought the change. And there are other evidence also that it works. So, but talking about working spiritually, how does this work spiritually? Positive thinking. Yes, so it does attract, yes, one of the things, it improves the self-confidence within the self, right? My confidence in myself will improve because I will have a positive approach towards myself. I have faith, that I have belief that yes, I can do this. The other is that it improves my relationship with others, because with the same faith, I come into interaction with others. So I have faith and trust in my relationships also. So it works that way as well. And then it works in a way that, so before that, I will share a story. It is not a story, a real life experience. So what happened about 2.5 years ago, and it was still COVID was, first wave was gone and second wave was just starting. So there was a gathering that happened at Brahma Kumaris, and about 20 to 25 people were there. And mostly those were there that did not go out anywhere or did not meet people, because at that time there was no vaccine, the treatment options weren't there. So what happened? They all met, and there's a senior sister that was also there. And after that gathering, the next day, one of the persons had symptoms, flu-like symptoms, and got tested and had COVID, positive for COVID, right? So since I was in healthcare field, so I was involved, and I called the senior sister. And before calling her, I already knew in my mind what the protocol would be, what it could do, how detrimental it was. I had seen all the deaths and everything in the hospital already. So I had all that in my mind, and I called her with a concern that now everybody has to be tested. So I called her and I told her, and she said, after listening to me for a couple of minutes, she said, it's going to be okay. So she said that. And as soon as she said that, all my worries and concerns were wiped out. Totally wiped out. Zero. I had no concerns. I had this faith right that moment that it's going to be okay. Then of course it's not like I said we're not going to do anything. We got tested. Everyone was tested the next day, and everything turned out to be okay. So what was there that worked at that time? But what was there that worked? That the anxiety became zero. What was there? Yes. Yeah, but how I knew that everything is going to be okay? No, the belief. But how the belief, if anyone else would have said it, I wouldn't have gotten that belief. If maybe my mother or somebody else would have said it, that it's going to be okay, I would have said, no, it's not going to be okay. Everyone has to get tested. It's spreading really fast.
She might have sent blessings to everyone.
She might have sent blessings, but
Wishes,
blessings to
get
send
well wishes.
blessings will still take time. It was right that moment, everything was clean. In a moment, all my thoughts were clean for good. So what worked at that time? Yes. Yes.
A friend helped, like a friend told you the belief and it worked. You actually felt better.
Yeah, so why that only that person, when that person said it worked, is because with the power of positivity, right? So it is a power. So what happens with a power? A power is something a power is something that can be increased or decreased. It can be developed. So power of positivity worked with that sister. She had done it numerous times in numerous situations for herself, in her life, as well as for others. So even though in that situation she was involved, she was the oldest one, she was involved herself, everyone else was involved, but still because of that power that she had accumulated by thinking positive over and over again in numerous situations, it worked for that moment, and it worked for me and for everyone else. So by me not having those thoughts, it right away changed the reality. Because once you have this, I'm sure you all have met or have that situation in your life at some point where you knew this is going to happen. I know that, right? What we say, I know this is what it is. And when we say, I know, how does it turn out to be? It does turn out to be the same exact way. Because that belief is so strong. And how that faith works is, say suppose there is a bowl and there is clear water in the bowl. And there is another bowl and there is dark water or dirty water in that bowl. And this bowl that is of clear water or crystal clear water is my positive thoughts or my faith or belief, what have you. And then the other bowl has negative thoughts. Now this bowl that is clear water, if I put a drop of dark water in the clear water, will it remain clear? It's not clear anymore. So the same way the belief works. Even if one thought comes which is negative, it's no longer a belief, because belief is 100%. Belief, there is no mix in it. For the negative water, if I put one drop of clear water, it will still be dark. because the clear water is not going to, we need a whole lot of clear water to change the color. But for the clear water, even one drop will change it. So in the same way, if we have negative, positive belief, then even one drop of negative will change that, right? And so and when we have these positive thoughts over and over again, we can not only help ourselves, but we can help people around us. Like that sister helped me at that time. By having that power, we are able to help people around us. So this is how the anxiety. Now there could be reasons that people can have anxiety from other phobias, like maybe fear of certain heights, fear of water, or fear of claustrophobia, closed spaces. But those are fears that are irrational. In those cases, a lot of time, those thoughts have been neglected, or those thoughts have not been looked at. So now the brain has been wired, or the mind has been wired in a way that it quickly jumps to the response, and there are physical symptoms in the body. And studies have shown when people have anxiety, right, when they worry that, oh, what will be my results on the test? What will happen? Will I pass? Will I fail? Or whatever the anxiety is about. Whenever we have thoughts of anxiety, and when the results come out to be okay, what our mind thinks? Because I worried, now the results are fine. So next time, if I don't worry, the results might be something else. So it will again put me into the vicious cycle of worrying again and again, because the mind starts to believe that I did something, I did worry, and because of that, the results were still okay. If I didn't worry, my results are not going to be okay. So we have to break this cycle that worrying is actually not helping. Okay, and now we will go on to meditation, and we will take some questions at the end. Shanti. I sit comfortably. I relax my legs, my arms, my neck. I can keep the eyes open or closed. And I try to remain still for the next few minutes. I, the being, the life in this body, I am the creator of my thoughts. As a creator, I decide what thoughts I will create. I am a powerful being, the energy, a shining star sitting in the center of the forehead. I, the energy, move this body. See through these eyes and listen through these ears. But I am different from this body. I, the being, I trust myself. I trust myself 100%. I am a fearless being because I know I have all the ingredients within me to face any situation. And in that, I see myself 100% safe and secure. Success is definite for me because I know I am a powerful being. Power is my innate quality. And I know this power can make me see and face every situation in a very light way. I keep this positive vision for myself. This vision, which is my truth. And truth is timeless. Regardless of any scene in my life, in the present or in future, I see myself being safe, secure, and powerful. I am a fearless being. This trust in myself brings courage in me. I have faith in different situations, different scenes of my life. They have come for a reason in my life. They might look harsh from outside, but they have come to make me progress ahead. They have come to change me internally so I can be my better self, the self, and be closer to my truth. I see the scenes in the life of my loved ones as positive scenes. They have come so that they could benefit. These scenes are 100% beneficial for me and everyone else. I have trust in the higher power that gives me this power, this courage, this guidance. I, the being, have faith in myself. I perform every action with this faith that I am meant to do this. And all the resources that I need are there within me. Honesty, sincerity, determination, patience, I love myself, the being. And this love allows me to think positively about myself. This love makes me aware of my thoughts and guides me to have positive thoughts. At the right time. As a child, I had no worries because being light is my original quality. I visualize all my worries and I visualize a big basket where I'm putting all my worries. And I let go. Of all those thoughts. And I embrace positive thoughts about myself. I, the being, am a powerful being as a creator. I have the power to change any thoughts and all thoughts. And change them into a beautiful reality. I feel relaxed. I feel light. As if the higher being has taken all my worries and burdens. And now I feel free and light like a feather. And I am ready for my journey ahead. Now, slowly and gradually, I bring my attention back to the being in the forehead, in this body, in this room, back with this awareness that I, the being, am the creator of my thoughts. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Anyone has any questions? Yes. Yes. I think someone has a question.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So a question, right? Sometimes our anxiety or the worries, they are based on the past experiences, right? I mean, for instance, I'm just taking some example, right? That somebody went through a dental procedure first time, right? And the experience was not very great. So next time, whenever that person has to go for a procedure, right? I mean, no matter how hard somebody tries, it happens inadvertently that we start up worrying about if I have to go through the same experience again. How to kind of inhibit those thoughts?
So it is a very good question. So in those cases, for one is the same, that only writing thoughts and changing them would help, but meditation would also be required, because during meditation the thoughts would slow down, and when the thoughts would slow down, we could concentrate on those positive thoughts for a longer period of time. So in that case, say suppose if we are meditating and we are saying that I am going to be okay with that procedure, so visualizing that scene even before going that and seeing myself to be okay would help. But again, it also is there is also an exposure therapy as well, which basically means that going and doing the same thing little by little. So maybe one day going and sitting in the dental office, Maybe that is medically given, that you get exposed to the same thing. But the main is that if your mind, if we go with a thought that I am able to do it safely, right? It is the mind that is saying subconsciously, or it's there deeply because of that experience. So I could change, I would have to change that belief in the same way, that either doing it with meditation, having those thoughts, or throughout the day, whenever such thoughts come, to see it and then giving yourself an opposite thought. But even then, I think it requires a lot of, if it goes to a level where there are physical symptoms, it requires meditation.
Okay. Thank you. Om Shanti.
You're welcome.
Sister, I have a question.
Yes.
So, you said to write, right, in a journal at night, and
During
you said
the
to
day.
write. I'm
Also.
sorry.
Or during the day also. When the thoughts come,
During the
write
day,
it at
right.
that time. Yes.
So you did say that write honestly, right, as honestly as possible. So then you talked about, like, for instance, if I have, thoughts of fear, and then I need to treat myself like I would treat a best friend, right? But then, but when I write what my thoughts are, right? Not opposite.
First, I
Okay.
write the exact thoughts that are
Okay.
coming. So as soon
Okay.
as they come, that's where I need to write what is like. The thought would be very specific, that I think
Right.
that this is there. Then I would observe. So there is a second, which is a gap, where I read the thoughts, what I wrote, where I read, okay, this is there. Then when after that gap, and seeing as if from a third person, like you said, like a friend, and not getting affected by those thoughts, and then writing the exact opposite. When I write the exact opposite thoughts, I could say it loudly, or I could say it internally with the feeling that it is true. Because feeling is very important, because it is the feeling that creates fear. So feeling also has to go with that line.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, sister.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Yes.
Two bowls, the clear bowl and the
Mhm.
dark bowl.
Mm-hmm.
How do you prevent the dark drops to go in the clear bowl?
Practice. Positive changing. So the moment I know that I am creating the thoughts, so I start to, okay, this is the thought, let me switch it to a positive one. And like I said, it's a power. So when we go to the gym, we exercise, and by doing it again and again, the muscles become strong. So in the same way, it's a power. So the more I do it, the more I change, I develop this power. So then it's very easy to see any situation with that positivity. Yes. Anything else? Any other questions?
So, when like you go to write down your thoughts, like what does it do? You're like just writing it down on a piece of paper or on a
Yes.
phone.
Yes.
What?
So what it does is that you recognize what's coming. You recognize it early, so you're able to treat it early. It doesn't go unnoticed. It's not like for the whole day we keep on thinking. We recognize it. Yes. Anyone else has a question? I think someone raised hand.
So usually, like if we have the negative thoughts and we write down and we do this process that you said, so it takes how many, like how much time it takes, like how many days or weeks for this process to work?
It's hard to say how many times you do it and when it actually becomes the belief. So the moment it becomes the belief, then we live it. Then it's, we keep on doing it. It is not that we only have to do it to relieve anxiety. The more we keep on doing it, the anxiety, it doesn't take a very long time, I can say that, but it doesn't take a day also. So it's a continuous practice that we do, and we, even despite the practice, it is not that I will be 100% worry free. So I develop this with time. So it's a lifestyle. It's not a 1-day thing or a 2-day thing. So definitely, once I start doing it, and also with the power of meditation also, both meditation and changing thoughts will work. So I cannot give a time limit, but it is not that slow. I know that.
Okay, sister. The meditation today was very good. Is it possible to get a recording of that?
Yes, YouTube. It's on YouTube. So
What is the name?
we'll send a link in the Zoom. We'll send a link.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And someone else has a question?
Hi. It was a very nice presentation. I really appreciate the way you even explained. The voice also calms me down personally. I'm trying to understand that yes, we need to practice the meditation, and I see myself when the thoughts come, which are, let's say, related to anxiety, fear, or even you can say anger, anything like that. Often I feel like I'm driving a car or in a situation where I'm not able to quickly stop myself, or if I'm driving a car, I cannot write down at that time, or I'm at an event somewhere, and some behavior has occurred which has caused me to either go into my past or situation where I'm in between. I find it very hard at that time to calm myself in a way, I mean, that's practical at that time. Um, and just to add, to supplement to that, another component is when um, I got again an experience of I seem to sometimes remember few things of the past, and there have been very painful experiences. And when that again just comes back to the memory, I am not able to sleep at night, even though if I do the meditation, it calms me for the few minutes. But again, the thoughts start coming, or they wake me up from the sleep. So in these two instances, I feel little powerless. There is a lot of improvements, but in these two instances, I feel a bit powerless.
So your first question was like, if it is a situation where I'm not able to write, but I can
Yes.
still observe my thoughts. I can still have a check on my thoughts that I can do anytime. I don't have to, I can do it anywhere as long as I'm not sleeping. Right? So I could check my thoughts, and immediately we do the internal talk all the time, right? So we can change that immediately. So, but like you said, when the situation looks big, so the preparation has to be done before that. So it is not at the time of the situation that the preparation would work as much. It is before, in little situations, when I have done that, in smaller situations. So when the bigger one comes, I already have what I need for that, meaning it will become better. And like the other question that you asked was that a past experience, right? So
Yes.
past experience is a deeper experience that one you had, or anybody has it from there. So from there, writing that experience, whatever it is, and doing the same thing, observing, and then writing what I gained from there, how can I learn from that experience, and how that experience came as a positive thing in my life. How is it positive? What did it teach me? Why was it there in my life? It came for a reason. It came for a reason, and what is that reason that I have to explore?
Okay.
The
Thank you.
positive reason. So I have to go from there. Yes, so that because that will really change you. If you look at it in that way, you will transform so much positively because you will start to realize it that it's changing you every day. You want to do better because of that experience.
Thank you.
Yes. Anyone else?
Sister, the link that they posted in the chat is not of the meditation, it is of Sakal Murli.
Oh, maybe we'll resend it.
The wrong link.
It's okay. Thank you. We'll resend it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, sister. Meditation was very good. Thank you.
you.